I am inviting you on a journey of faith and creativity. When I was living in North Carolina for a couple of years, I decided I really wanted a creative outlet, but I didn't have any money. Our first child was just beginning to walk. My resources were accounted for. So I prayed and I asked the Lord for a hammer and an anvil, which I was able to get that cheap stuff from Harbor Freight, right? So I was able to get that, but then I needed a forge. So I prayed and I decided, you know what? If this Christian thing is real, it has to be real every day. It can't just be real on Sunday morning. It has to be effective all the time, or I'm not wasting my time. Okay? So I chose to believe that I received. Now faith is the very substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things unseen. So that means that it's bringing the impossible into reality. It's bringing what is unavailable into the available. And I began to look around and I noticed that there was a great deal of industrial refuse in the area, and my landlord owned that property. So I went to her and I asked for permission to look at it and use some of it. And I was told, go ahead, just don't make a mess, right? So that's what I did. And out of that, I'll show you some pictures here. Out of that, I was able to create my first blade forge. And I learned how to do this online. And you can see it was just a hand pump from Walmart. And I used kitty litter and sand to make the forge. And I was able to get things hot and heat them, and but it was a lot like work, yeah. But it was a beginning. Don't despise the days of small beginnings. Look, if you want to create something, you have to decide whether you want to do it or not. You have to decide whether you have the passion for it. If you don't begin, all right? But that's really what's most important. Do you desire to do it? And decide to do it, all right? And I made my first set of tongs. They weren't great, trust me on that, but they were 100% better than what I had before, which was nothing. I had made my own charcoal, and then it wasn't too long, maybe a week or so, I had knocked out some old black railing pieces and made myself some decorative hooks and was selling them to the nurses at the hospital. So onward and upward, right? You start with the small beginnings and you stick with it. And I made my first knife, right? Not a very good knife. It's thick, heavy like a brick, not very sharp, nothing fancy about it, but nevertheless, a knife. Then I created I went online, I'm doing more study, right? And now that we have YouTube today, oh my goodness. When I was a kid, we had to go to the library, go through all the little index cards to find a book of interest, and then a lot of times it's already checked out and you had to wait 3 weeks to get it. I mean, that's not a thing anymore. Now you can go online and it's right at the tip of your fingers. So, there's no excuse. So I built Japanese box bellows. That's what this box is right here. Japanese box bellows and a bigger forge. And I was able to make bigger things and nicer things. So look, my point is, God is not just for Sunday morning, all right? This was a kitchen knife I made for a friend of mine, and this is still in use today. This is 30 years later, all right? So the point is that God's not just for Sunday morning, okay? It's for every day. He's not boring, okay? You don't set him off into a corner when because you're uncomfortable. Look, all you have to do is invite him to the process. That's it. You don't have to be super spiritual or spooky about it. Just invite him to the process. All right? So there was an evolution of, here's one that was pretty rough. And you see I need to clean it up. It's kind of rusty. But trust me on this, it's sharp. And in the woods, it's great. So yeah, I'll have to clean that up. But, process, keep going. This one is really rough as well, right? But it really cuts well if you just want to do some down and dirty work. And I made a primitive sheath for it, okay? Don't avoid doing things because you're not going to get them perfect. Just do it, and you improve as you go. And this one I made when I joined the Army at 40. Don't do that. I don't recommend that. But I wanted something that I had made if I get deployed, and I did not get deployed. So no one ever shot at me in anger or anything like that. But I wanted to have something in the event I did. And so at this point, I had progressed to where it was worth me actually buying some steel and doing that. I had learned how to heat treat, and I bought this piece of 5160, and I made that survival knife. This will clear a flash mob in a hurry, won't it? Right? So, and then and we're going to do some of that this summer. Right now I need to get set up for that. And this one is a repurposed lawnmower blade. So you can get a sense of size, right? And this is a lot more durable than what you're going to find in the store. And what did it cost me, right? So the goal is this coming year is to incorporate my pottery and my forging together. I want to put some large pieces, yard-sized pieces, incorporating both pottery and forging elements in it. And I'm thinking some designs. And so, but the process is to meditate on it, right? I meditate in prayer on it and the reason I do that is because on my own, I'm not that creative. But I chose to believe that if the Spirit of God had entered into me, then I have the same Spirit that was at the beginning that created everything. He is a creative, powerful Spirit. That's the power that created the universe inside of us. How much of that are we contending for? How much of that are we demanding? We need revival in this country. We must have it. We must have it. We're experiencing some reformation now, but it is not going to last more than 4 years if hearts and minds aren't changed. How do you do that? Well, art is one of them. Whether you're in entertainment, whether you're creating three-dimensional art like me, or painter, or if you do videos, or if you're anything that you do really is a form of worship, and therefore it can be beautiful or it can be ugly. It's up to you. So what I want to do, and what I'm hoping to do, is take you on the journey this coming year and just share with you the process of what I do to create what I do. It doesn't mean that I'm the best out there. I'm not. I don't consider myself an artist per se. I didn't go to school for it. I wish now that I had discovered it earlier in life, but here I am, right? But I'm doing things I never believed possible because of this process. So I hope that you'll enjoy the videos, and like, subscribe, and join me on this journey. See you next time.